Hi everyone, it's me. I was trying to get back into full swing of things and all that sort of stuff on YouTube, and it's been about like 4, almost 5 months since I've posted, and I know a lot of people are probably sick of all of the update videos that I have to do and that I'm doing and all that sort of stuff, but really it is like there's stuff to be said, and like there's stuff that happens. Life sometimes happens and you really don't want it to, and so when life happens and you don't want it to, you have to deal with it. And it really hit me hard, so I'm just gonna explain roughly why I was gone, and hopefully I can try and get back into some better stuff, better at just keeping some sort of upload schedule. It just, I had stuff, whether it was just like school or personal life stuff just happening, and I would have to devote almost all of my focus on that. So there wasn't really wasn't much to keep myself motivated. I'm more like, if I upload when I can and I really feel like doing so, I'm gonna do it. If I don't, I'm not gonna do it. If I have something else more important, I'm not gonna do it. But that being said, the big thing that kept me from uploading was some stuff in my personal life. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but if you follow me on any of my socials, if you have, obviously, if you know me, which most of you do, obviously, because I know only so many people, and I'm not a huge channel or anything. Back in September, on back in September, I had lost my dad. He passed away just a little over 2 months ago, and before that, he had been in the hospital for a couple weeks, and before that, we had plenty of concerns about what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? What should we do? What's the best thing for him right now? And so that took up most of my time. And then I was also applying for college. I was starting college. I am in college now. And then within the first few days of college, I had to drop everything and go and be with my dad before he passed, because they knew he wasn't going to be lasting through the rest of the night. So I'm still in college now. I probably didn't take enough time off. I took 1 day off, and then that 1 day was I took 1 extra day off plus a weekend. That's all I really did. And I should have taken more, because ever since then, it's been much harder to do college, because I was falling behind from missing 1 day, and then because I missed 1 day and didn't take more time off for myself, I had basically dug myself into this hole of I can't focus, I can't go through like the steps I need to go through in order to be fully functional in this environment. And so I've only more recently gotten around to a point where I feel comfortable trying to catch back up. And even then, sometimes it's a bit overwhelming, but that's not what you're here to hear about. It's more of my dad passed away in September, and yeah, it was just a lot. By that time, I was really thinking about the YouTube thing, actually, because I was just like, I've had so much stuff going on. I haven't had time to upload anything or do anything in accordance to whether it was like the band thing. I was very happy with the reception that we got on the documentary series, even though it's obviously not like a huge viral sensation thing. I was very happy to see and get comments from people watching from that, and it was very fun to do, very fun to edit, and it was very cool. And so I thank you guys for that, and I thank you guys for your patience. But I had a lot of things on my mind, and a lot of things just making my life incredibly busy. So now I'm going to Ashland University for digital media production, which is like radio, TV sort of stuff. I have a radio show. So lately I've just been like really trying to drive that force back into getting my life kind of back in order rather than feeling like I'm completely screwed. The reason it was really hard to do much for uploading was, yes, within the past couple months was when a lot of it really started to hit, but when it all really started to show itself was back in like January of 2020 being last year when this video is posted. And so he started going through stuff like that, and I dealt with it kind of behind the scenes for up until recently. I'm not gonna get into like super details. Just know he has, for almost his entire life, had a whole bunch of different medical issues, and more recently, they just got to a point where it was beyond doing anything else. So, because they had given us, because he had stayed there, we thought he was going to be in hospital for a few days, maybe a week, which then turned into 2 weeks, which then turned into a month, which then expanded into nearly 2 months, and me just having to honestly be home alone a lot, and just be alone with myself, and be alone with, and then we had gotten, and just be alone with a lot of things. And we had gotten my dad a dog as like as this like gift for him going through so much and pushing through it, which I'm very glad we did. We still have that dog, and he's fantastic. You guys have seen him a little bit on the gaming channel, which I have been even more inconsistent with, just because video games has been really hard to try and get back into and try and do. They thought, you know what, he's good enough, he's in a good enough condition that he can be taken care of at home, and financially you guys look sustainable to do so. So theoretically, we can let him go, and we're going to let him go and give him back into your guys' possession. And we were not prepared. Like they don't take into account, like, no hospital, no nursing home, no rehabilitation center, no place really takes into account how, like, just because the finances look okay on paper does not mean that's how it's going to work out, and very rarely does it do so. And so it's just, it was fucking awful, like, to deal with. I had to just watch my family go through a shit ton of stuff, and I was still in high school. I was still trying to figure out how to get through what I had to be able to go into my own life. And so whenever that stuff happened, I just couldn't take it anymore. And so a lot of the time, doing any sort of YouTube thing, or even just writing music, doing the band, all of that stuff was just my way of being like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to do something that makes me feel a bit more fulfilled, and something extra to add on to the things that I'm already doing, just so I don't have to fucking deal with this. And it worked. It supposedly worked. And don't worry, band's still together. We have good plans. We have big plans. But there was just a lot of stuff that they don't, most of those places, they don't take it into account what is actually going on. They take it into account on what it's on paper. So they kind of just gave him back to us, and then after months of being very unprepared and very not okay with the situation, and not okay with how his health was deteriorating, eventually it looked like he was starting to get better. He started to get better. He went for a while without even being able to walk properly, and for a short period of time he was able to walk again. Sure, he got a bit more winded than usual, but it was starting to look up. And then all of a sudden, just like, I don't regret doing any of that, but it was draining. It was incredibly draining to try and actually just do all of that. And I know a lot of people who can attest to this, who've had to deal with something similar, sometimes even like much more like big of a deal and like than I did, and like for a very shorter amount of time, and had to learn like that how to take care of somebody. And I still haven't. I wasn't ready. I'm still not ready to do anything like that. And we were kind of just thrown into this situation that no one wants, and no one wanted, and no one wanted to have. And so sorry, I'm rambling on about all that stuff. This is not supposed to be just a venting video. It's supposed to be an update. But I just wanted to get that off my chest to a more public forum because it's a lot. And so eventually he started to get better, and then at some point he just started to get worse again. And we were like, okay, maybe we should catch this and make him go into hospital. But he kept like convincing us, no, he doesn't want to go into hospital, which also leaves us in such a weird situation, because you want to do what's absolutely best for them, what you know is medically best for them, and to just make them be like, hey, you need to go and do this. Like, it's not a choice anymore. You can't just live your life pretending that there's nothing wrong. And eventually we got to him. He had some memory issues towards the end of it, in mid-August. And then in relatively late August, we put him we were just like, no, we're going to call an ambulance. We're going to have them get you over to a hospital. That hospital then transferred him over to one that was better for his situation, that was more suited to the specific type of issues that he was facing. So he went to that one, which was much farther away. And so he was there, and it always kind of sucks whenever you have to do that, because there's like always that little part in your mind is thinking, yes, this is best for him, but look at what it's brought out in the people that you care about. It's like he at least seemed functional as like a person, like as far as like you could talk to him for a long time. But then once he went into like hospital, he just completely went, and he was just kind of gone. He had a lot of trouble getting a single word out, let alone a sentence or phrase or anything. And then eventually he was just at the point where he was like, where he fought as well as he could and did as much as he could for himself during his time in hospital. And you know, they had to walk up to my mom and my brother and say, hey, this is not good. Like, we know it's not the best thing, and we know it's really hard to hear, but we want to be as transparent as possible. And so I want to say I commend them for that. Life just decides to give you a big old middle fucking finger and just throw it at you. The real world sometimes fucking sucks, but you have to push through that. So yeah, that's the gist of what I've been, what's been going on. On a much lighter note, we have plans. Redivider has plans. We have big plans, and we're super excited to share them within the next few days of this being uploaded. Over this upcoming weekend, we are going to be starting filming for a music video on a song from the EP. Won't tell you which until it is out in roughly, probably late-ish December. Regardless of what all I said, I am in a very fortunate spot. And I know that. Even with all the bullshit, it's like, I still have friends, I still have the band, I still have anybody here who's watching, and I still have me. That was my update video. I've been talking for about 20 minutes. I'll probably try and edit this down because it's ridiculous. So, thank you all for watching. You guys are amazing. So, peace out. Bye-bye, everybody. Love you all.